Hey all. I actually shouldn't interrupt a presentation with a hey all, but I can't help saying it. I hope you're all safe. Okay, so continuing what Melody has been saying, we'll discuss the contents of long-term memory, and there are basically two main types. It's one is called declarative or explicit memory, and the other is called procedural memory. So starting off by the declarative memory, it's a knowing that memory. So it's a memory of facts, personal information that requires conscious effort to bring it to mind. Just a very simple diagram to sort of map out the concepts. There are two main divisions of declarative memory, one that is divided upon its type and another that is divided upon its time frame. So it's a bit more fancy, too fancy actually. It's way simpler than this. So starting by the types, there are two types of declarative memory. One that is called semantic. Semantic is related to meanings. So semantic memory, it's a memory of facts. So very basic facts: who won the World Cup, the Oscar-winning films, how to pronounce the word encyclopedia, and etc. It's a very solid, it's a very fact-dependent memory. And it's better remembered when rehearsed or repeated. So if you forgot the Oscar-winning film of the last year, and I told you it again, you will better remember it the following time or the next time. The second type of declarative memory is episodic memory. It's a memory. It's basically a diary. It's a memory of autobiographical memory. It's a memory of personal experiences. So examples make it clear. It's a memory of the time you fell from a tree, the first time you rode a bike, your birthday, your 11th birthday, and so on. It's a very personal memory. These are the types of declarative memory. So two types: semantic memory, facts; episodic memory, the personal experience. And there are another division in declarative memory that is based upon its time frame. So one way to look at declarative memory is a retrospective memory. It's a memory that things that you remember or that you already did. So for instance, it's a memory of your past experiences, and examples such as where you went to school, information you previously learned. It's a memory that is related to past. Contrast it with prospective memory. It's a memory things that you need to remember. So for instance, when you need to remember to call someone for their birthday, or you want to remember to turn off the lights, to control your laptop, and so on. This is a memory that is related to future more than the past. That's it for declarative memory. Another sort of big memory is called procedural or work memory. It's the knowing how. So the memory of how to do things, not the what. The declarative was the what or the facts. So for instances, how to ride a bike, how to ride a car, how to drive, how to play a musical instrument, how to tie your shoelaces. All of these things, it's something that is very practical, very pragmatic. Two main differences between the procedural memory and the declarative memory. One is that it requires no conscious effort. Procedural, no conscious effort is demanded. So when you drive a car, there's no conscious effort remembering how to drive the car. Same thing for you who play musical instruments, you will simply relate to this. Another difference is that it's not verbal. So try to explain for someone how you play tennis or how you play ping pong. It's very hard. Unlike the declarative memory, because from its word declarative as verbal, it's fact related or something that you can easily speak out. A form of the procedural memory is something called implicit memory, as contrasted to explicit memory. So implicit memory is something that, for instance, when you hear a song that you used to hear in your childhood, it instantly triggers some emotions or some feelings that is memory related, and yet it's very implicit. It's non-declarative. It's non-verbal. But the question is, how accurate are these memories? Or another question, how far can we trust our memories? The main theory about the credibility of our memories is called the constructionist theory. And its definition is that memory is not a replica or a very perfect replication of the past, but a representation or reconstruction of the past. So it's basically your brain trying to fill in the gaps, to stitch different experiences, different events to make a whole, to make a grander scheme. It's not a video recorder, for instance. So the theory says that your memories aren't as accurate as you think, and some memories may be flawed, distorted in various ways, or completely false. And a very interesting thing that the theorists found, that something called negative stereotyping. So it's a negative stereotyping, when you ascribe negative traits to people of certain groups, they found that you only remember things that goes along with the prejudice you have, or the preconception you have. So if you have a preconception that Egyptians are good athletes, you'll very good remember the stars or the athlete stars in Egypt. Unlike if you do have another preconception, it's a wholly different thing. So that's very actually critical, because you can build up false misconceptions to affect your memory. So be aware of the stereotypes you put in mind, because they even affect your conception or your perception of people or events or memories. Last thing about the credibility of memory is an experiment called false memory experiment. It's very subject is called Lost Mole. They basically gather subjects, they speak with their parents, and they try to convince the subjects that their parents told the reporters that these subjects were lost in a mall in their childhood, and they were rescued by elders or by good people, by heroes. And the results provided by many universities, the most common of which is the Columbia University, UK in Canada, is that 25% of the subjects were actually conceived, and they said that they do remember the incident, although it never actually occurred. This is how far our memories can easily deceive us. So I'll now leave you with Karen. She'll tell you about the different contents of long-term memory and different procedures happening still in the long-term memory. See you soon. I hope to see you soon. Bye.